Man, I love these days though, when it's like this. A nice sun out here.
Nearly every Sunday morning, you can probably find Alan Sugiyama doing the loop at Seward Park with his running group.
Gee, we've been running for like 35 years.
He runs with his childhood friend Tim, who started losing his sight at age 19. They lean on each other to keep doing this routine, week after week, year after year.
And we don't even talk to each other a lot of times throughout the week. We just know that I'm picking him up at 8 o'clock, and he's ready.
Moving forward is something that Alan knows well.
Our people!
A lifelong Seattle resident, Alan, who attended Garfield High School in the late 60s, was inspired early on to follow a path committed to equity and social justice.
After I graduated from Garfield, I had an opportunity, obviously, to go to Seattle Community College. And they had a very strong African-American class, and they had a minority class as well.
The Black Student Union had made significant change at UW and Seattle Central through activism, which inspired Alan.
As a first-year student, I kind of watched all the demonstrations. And then it culminated into, they wanted a Black Studies program. They said, we don't want one class, we want a whole program. And then also we noticed at the highest level, you don't have an African-American on the Board of Trustees. There's never been one.
Alan became a leader in Seattle's Asian American civil rights movement, advocating for the establishment of Asian American academic studies and equal opportunity hiring at Seattle Community College.
We had created an organization called the Oriental Student Union. And many people have heard about it, and it's in many different books, but they only talk about the demonstrations when we closed down the administration office. But there were so many things that we had done before, like the Asian American program that others haven't had. University of Washington actually copied the one at Seattle Community College.
He also participated in fighting for housing and social services for the Chinatown International District neighborhood when the construction of the Kingdom threatened to overrun it.
Different Asian American groups coming up and focusing on different things, and such as housing areas, such as public planning and things. So it was really an interesting time.
Alan went on to create the Center for Career Alternatives, a multi-ethnic work training agency for at-risk and low-income residents, and was the first Asian American elected to the Seattle School Board. His last position, as executive director of the Executive Development Institute, allowed him to pursue his interest in mentoring the next generation of leaders. Alan was also at the forefront of creating Asian American cultural programming.
I think we have a winner.
This is my 15th year on this particular festival right here with the Seattle Center. But in terms of festivals like this or similar ones, the first one I put on was 1973.
Always celebrating heritage, helping people connect, and mentoring others, Alan is facing a new challenge.
In 2014, I was having a little problem swallowing. And I had no idea, because I'm kind of one of those kind of guys that loves to eat. And so I never have trouble swallowing. And so having trouble swallowing was like, what's going on?
Alan was diagnosed with esophagus and pancreatic cancer. He immediately jumped into an aggressive chemotherapy regime without missing a beat.
Even my doctor said this. He says, you sure take bad news good. And I'm thinking, how else are you supposed to really take bad news other than the fact that if you have it, you have it, but let's fight it. What is our action plan? And I look at this the same way as organizing. I look at this the same way as when I was running the Center for Career Alternatives or any other thing that I was doing. We're going to give it a go. And sometimes you don't have all the answers, but you can't sit there and think about it. You just got to do it.
It's a routine that you'd think would slow him down, but Alan is taking it on with a mission to heal and to help others.
2, 1,
Can't even keep up with him even when he's on chemo. I'm not a runner, nor a walker, but he forces me to get out.
Alan recently led a walking group at a 5K put on by International Community Health Services, which was established in 1973 as a result of the Kingdom protests. Today, he walks with people he marched with 40 years ago, and some fellow Asian American activists who also face their own health setbacks.
One of the things that Alan and I have in common is that we battle illnesses that are challenging. Both of us have gone through some kind of treatment. I've done chemo and radiation, and now I'm battling Parkinson's. But Al is just very inspiring to me. I'll tell you, I didn't have the courage that he has. But all through chemo, he's out talking to people. He's working on campaigns. He's in the community, still trying to do things. I believe he's a survivor. He is a survivor in a lot of senses.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
For Alan, the commitment to social change is the same as fighting cancer. They are deeply forged paths that run parallel to each other.
Well, you know, when you look at issues such as fighting discrimination, or in my work experience and things, they aren't sprints. They're marathons. And because some things like discrimination, you're not going to end it in 1 year. Some people, you know, you're not going to go in and end poverty in 1 year. And that's the same thing as this cancer or any other kind of disease that an individual might have, is that it's long term. And you kind of have to stay at it, but don't get discouraged either if you lose sometimes. And that is where the similarities are really there between my work experience, the civil rights type of issues, and fighting an illness.
Watch CityStream Thursday nights at 7 on the Seattle Channel, or get video on demand and podcasts anytime at seattlechannel.org.